Hi, this project volunteers. Some people managed to make it to the Visit 3 prep meeting today, and some people didn't. And it's okay if you couldn't make it, but I know that it's sort of quite scary if you feel really unprepared for what you're doing. So I thought I'd recount like what I remember from the meeting, and if necessary, take notes on it. This is going to be like a massive warble, I've realised, to be honest. Um, because it's just going to be me trying to recount things from the top of my head. So get some pen and paper and pick up, write down any of the stuff that you think actually applies to you. Um, so our meeting started with a little look at the forms that you're going to be taking in with you. Now everyone will get a little pack like this. All of the volunteers will get a little pack like this, and it has a little cover sheet that you would do well reading. This pack also can be found on the current volunteer section of the website, so do read it beforehand because it's got a lot of stuff on it that we discussed at the meeting. It's just basically reaffirming it. And it's talking you through the pack really. You hang on to this during the lesson that you're in. The students don't need to see what's in the pack, to be honest. It's just you checking up that all the groups are remaining as they were at the beginning. And if they haven't, if people have switched groups or like people come up with new groups or new ideas for their projects, then changing it to reflect the basic gist of like who's in the group and what's going on. So one thing is to confirm the details that we have with the students. And the other thing that we need to do with this is to make sure that other students meet the criteria to get awards next week on the 14th of February. So basically, it's probably good to let you know that if you didn't know this already, there's going to be an awards assembly on the 14th of February to which you should come actually, and to which all of the Year 13s will be invited. It will just be in school time, so it will be an assembly, but we're making it an awards assembly, where there are three things basically that people can get. One of those is nothing. If their project just wasn't good enough to have Stonewall backing. So like if Stonewall wouldn't be comfortable awarding them for a piece of project that a project that they've done, then we don't give them anything. The second level is the sort of like thanks for taking part certificate. The certificate says this is to certify that whoever has completed this project. So that'll be one that I reckon about 80 or 90% of all the students in year 12 will get. And the third type of certificate only goes to the 10 best groups, and it's a certificate that says this to certify that so and so has created a top 10 mini project for this project. What you're looking out for in the lesson, the Visit 3 lesson, 7th of February, is to be able to tick 6 boxes on these forms for each group that will make them able to get the basic certificate, they have done this project. So you're looking out for 6 things. 1, conducting adequate research into relevant issues. 2, working together and discussing relevant issues. 3, spending at least 4 hours in total working on any aspects of the mini project. 4, combining a range of different skills and interests to apply to the mini project. 5, increased understanding of sexual and gender diversity. And 6, promoting awareness and portraying the subject matter in a positive and thoughtful light. So the basic thing that you're going to be doing in the lesson, and you can go about this any way you want. You can have a little preamble to it. You can have a particular structure or like amount of time that you specifically want to spend with each group. But your main aim will be going round to each of the groups and filling in the form for a form for each of the groups to tick off all the details that they gave us at the start to begin with, and also to tick off those 6 conditions to get an award. Basically, there are 6 conditions, so we can standardise the quality of work to which we give a certificate. Bear in mind, though, that we are Cambridge students, and they are students who, one, don't particularly have an interest at the beginning in LGBT issues, and two, they come from a comp school in London. So basically, our normal standards are not their normal standards. Really, really bear that in mind. So you're going to be going around not asking them about these 6 conditions explicitly, but engaging them in conversation, and probing them into answering things that will indicate to you whether you should be ticking these boxes. So you can see by their work they should be showing you what their mini projects are like, and by engaging in conversation with them you will hopefully be able to tick off all of these 6 boxes. And you're not going in there basically looking to penalise people or looking to take people off the list. You're going there really, really searching for things that will allow you to tick all of the boxes. So if you can tick all of the boxes and you think that Stonewall would be happy with what they produced, not particularly, it's not to do with quality or the amount of like intelligence displayed in it, but that it doesn't give a bad name to sexuality and gender diversity. Then you're ticking them off. So that's this part. That's this part of the. I can't even point to it correctly. That's this part of the sheet. Those 3 boxes. And you can say at the beginning of the lesson, if you want, I'm going to be going around to each of the groups and checking up on what your projects have been like and seeing how you've been going with them. And like, we're looking for these 6 things. Maybe don't tell them that you're going to be actually ticking them off, but just be like, so when you're completing your mini project, just bear in mind that they should be showing these things, and that will make them good projects. There is a second sort of section of tick boxes. There's 3 tick boxes, and this is like admin stuff really. So this is to prepare them for the assembly. There's a tick box that says tick if group would allow us to showcase their work during the awards assembly on the 14th of February. Self-explanatory. Like if there are people who may not want their work to be showcased, and that's fair enough, but they should still receive an award for it. So tick it off if you think that they would be okay with you displaying their work. Basically, if they haven't explicitly told you that I don't want to be shown at this assembly. The one below it is tick if group would allow us to name and present them with a special top 10 award during the assembly. And the third one is tick if register names are acceptable for their certificates. So basically, I've pre-written out all 300 certificates, and it will just be to save time, and it will just be a case of when we come out of all of our lessons, you basically telling me who won't get a certificate, and I'll just take their certificates out of the pile really. But they're all their register names, so I've got the registers of all Year 12 forms, and I've just written the names on there. But if people have different like self-given names, for example, if sort of their transgender, if they I don't know, if they're going to use this certificate later on when they're going to have a different gender, then you might want to write in the box at the bottom like what their self-given name is, so that we can put the appropriate name on their certificate. So that's basically the whole sheet. You're going to be doing this whole sheet. Voila! Oh my gosh, this column here, which is completely blank, is basically if you need to change any of the details that they gave us at first, just write it in that box. So yeah, you need to go around to each of the groups. If a group has like split since we last saw them on the 17th of February, then then there are a few blank forms at the back. So write a thing for a new form for a new group, and that's all fine. So that's what you're doing. You're going around to each of the groups and you're basically taking them off. That's what you're doing formally. a general point about how you're going to be sort of acting in the lesson. As a volunteer, you're valuable to the lesson because of your expertise. Expertise being used quite lightly, just basically you're fine talking about sexuality and gender stuff, when they can't really be expected to rely upon anyone else to be able to talk about any of this kind of stuff. And you're also there to represent sexual and gender diversity really positively. This means if someone is not really acting favourably towards you, or someone, for example, has explicitly opted out of doing this project because they don't believe in it, you shouldn't be treating them like ignoring them. You shouldn't be acting any less enthusiastically towards them, because this is a massive opportunity for you, to be honest, to and for them to see an LGBT person or ally in a positive light. So it's really important that you just remain positive with everybody and discuss people's issues. Like there is a girl in Dooney's group who opted out of this project because she doesn't believe in promoting LGBT because of her religion. So if you could actually engage in conversation with them about what they believe, and then maybe challenge their views in an amicable way by talking about religions that do, for example, accept homosexuality, then that would be really good. That would be at least a new perspective that they may not have gotten in a homophobic echo chamber. So yeah, remain positive. Another thing is that there are going to be some mini projects which we have quite high standards, and there are going to be some mini projects that don't meet our standards. You're spending this lesson helping people to finish their mini projects and making sure that they submit their mini projects both on the school system and by email to us, this.thisprojecthayden@gmail.com. And the lesson is 50 minutes long. So if you think that a mini project can be redeemed, then work with the group, even if it's for a small amount of time, because you'll have to go around to the other groups. But work with the group to point out in that lesson what they could do to redeem their projects. Obviously, don't put it so bluntly. Say stuff like, there are some things here where you could have portrayed LGBT stuff more positively, that kind of stuff. Where something is beyond redemption, then maybe just be like, hey, there's nothing you can really do to change it now. What you can do is have a look at the resources on the website and help other people with their mini projects. Actually, I'm going to go into a new section of speech in a minute. So this massive video is going to be, I feel, one of many. You're going to get basically a lecture. So if you can hang on to the next video, that would be really, really good. Okay, so wait for the next video.